brain can do.
All right, I have a fun presentation. I really wish Reed was here, but it looks like he's not joining. So this is actually, well, let me see. Give me 1 second. I've got to switch to my iPad here, which involves a number of
So Patrick, one of the saddest moments in my musical life was my first day of, I believe, Harmony 1 or Theory 1 at the University of Laverne, taught by a soulless individual. But the first thing out of his mouth was, Theory 101, music is math. And it was like a lightning bolt to my heart.
Yeah.
That was the thing all through high school and middle school, and that just I wasn't a math guy. And it was
all for X, Mr. Rothy.
well, exactly. You know, I have
partial
math anxiety. So to hear that the thing I love that I'm going to try to get a degree in requires math was just really disappointing.
It's a partial misstatement, is what I would say. Yeah, that's part of it, but
yeah. As I said, a soulless individual that could have done better.
Yeah,
It's
the kind of statement that can mean different things to different people.
yeah, exactly.
much more art than science.
That's what I needed.
Yeah.
I came in with the art thinking, show me a little bit of the graphics. Interesting. I'm sorry, the graphics and the art is all based on math, and if you don't know it, you can't be.
Well, if it's all math, you get a old soulless synthetic sound.
Hello. That's what those guys were putting out. Cosi fan tutti.
Hey,
Numbers are like that. What?
since we have here a built-in men's group,
Yeah.
could we save a little time at the end for anyone who wants to advise me on how to take care of my son? I have a question about bribery and education and
Pro bribery.
Oh God, you're going to open up the Pandora's box of Apple Valley.
We call it positive reinforcement, though, not bribery.
You know what my wife has gotten me into as Greg is getting ready? In order to assuage this Tasmanian devil of a son, she has said we're going to buy him a car. We're going to get a car loan, a monthly payment, instead of buying a used car with cash.
Have you looked on Craigslist or Cars.com?
Bob, this has been taken off my desk and put on someone else's desk. And
There are a lot of used Toyotas and Hondas that are in great shape.
I have 3 children. I never bought them a car. Never bought them a car. New. Anyway,
I'm ready when you guys are.
so yes, Andrew, I'm available for that discussion, and hopefully Bob is, because he's much more rational than I am.
Yeah, really.
thanks.
All right, so this is a little cerebral, but it gets to be fun too, because I've got a lot of really cool music examples. When I say harmony without chords, what I mean mainly is harmony without the chord symbols that we've come to know, and that includes either things like C7 sharp 5 or Roman numerals like 2 half diminished 7 or something like that. And call off your old tired chord symbols. Okay, this is the direction some theorists are going in instruction of how harmony works. And I'm not the author of this. It's by Gustav the Magnificent. I don't know if you've seen his picture before.
I've seen you with that.
Yeah.
Is
He's
that
an
him?
He's an influencer out in the 7th galactic region.
Well, that's you.
Yeah.
You look a little like
It's
Peter
Beldar.
Sellers.
Gristov.
Wasn't that
Gustav.
a Carson?
I look like who?
Johnny
Karnak.
Carson.
Karnak the Magnificent?
All right. is that a bingo? Is that a gambling board or is that Harpaging?
You're right in that it is a game board. It was something Claudia bought for Christmas. It's this game where somebody gives you a word, which is a description of the color, and you pick one of those things to be what that color should represent. And then how close you are to the actual color the person had in mind is how this points are scored.
The
What's the
Pantone
game called?
Oh, it's called What the Hue.
What the, sounds good. I'd
Pantone.
love to get it. That
Yeah,
sounds
well,
great.
where's the blue?
It's in the middle.
Oh,
it's called
oh, yeah.
the bottom.
That's
lower
not-
left corner
In
going
the
in
lower left
diagonally.
more.
okay. All right.
Now, Andrew,
What if you're colorblind?
What colors can you not see there?
Here, Greg, I was wrong. It's hues and clues.
Okay.
So do you
Using
name the
clues.
RGB value?
Now, well, you could if you wanted to use it as your hint word.
Uh-huh.
You could play when you were playing with some geeks. You could say, "Oh yeah, hex 37CABF." Anyway, it's actually called hues and clues, not what the hue.
Hues and clues. Okay.
Anyway,
Oh, my
Oh,
God,
Walter
I have
Piston.
that book. I have that book.
I do
Yeah.
too.
now
I
this
burned
is
it.
how most Americans learn college level harmony. You know, it's sort of an accident that this became the standard way that we're taught. What you learn is these Roman numerals. You know, this is the starting thing. You apply a triad to every scale degree, and some of them are minor, some of them are major. One of them is diminished, and they each have a chord symbol that's associated with it. And you know, this is Mozart. Oh, it's an abbreviation of Mozart. Is the piano coming through okay? Is the piano coming through okay?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
So you see the little Roman numeral out. That's what you do as a student. You write those Roman numerals there, and
I have a 5/4.
yeah, it works for common practice period music, and that generally means Bach, Mozart, Haydn, Beethoven. It works okay. But when you get to late 19th and early 20th century music, problems. This will lead you astray because you'll try
Nice bullet point.
you'll try to cram the chords of that music into a box that doesn't fit, and it'll cause you to say things like, "Oh, well, that's just ornamental. That's you know."
That's a massive dump there.
Yeah, and so we're talking about like everything from pretty much Schumann and after Schumann, Chopin, Liszt, Wagner, Richard Strauss, Debussy. A lot of these people, they didn't take piston.
So, Greg,
Yeah,
can I ask you a question?
yeah, go ahead.
Are you saying then that if they saw a G7 written like that, they wouldn't be able to play it? Are you saying that they didn't play a G7 chord that way or a C major 7 chord that way? These new
Well,
composers?
I wouldn't want to make any generalizations. They probably had some vocabulary of their own, which could probably be somewhat mapped onto our understanding. But you know, they also had proper compositional instruction from an early age, based on other theories. So, you know, this whole thing of the Roman numeral analysis really took hold in America due to Walter Piston. And what I would do if you have a copy of this with the sticker, the price sticker still attached to it, see if you can bring it back to your college bookstore and return it, because you don't want it. So
I want to hear that about college books.
it's also pretty bad when it comes to popular and jazz. All right, so now I'm going to go to what some theorists have discovered that have given them ideas for a completely new direction in discussing harmony. It's a guy named Hugo Riemann. I don't know much about him biographically, but those were his years. And around, I guess, 1909, he wrote this book. And I'd like you to read, first of all, listen to this musical example here. Okay, C major, A flat major, C major again, then E major, and back to C major. And he says, this admittedly audacious but effective and euphonious progression shown above defies definition in terms of an older doctrine of key, but it consists only of closely related chords contrasted with the tonic triad. In other words, you know, there's between the C major and A flat, there's a common tone of C, and the other notes are changing just by a half step. To me and to Riemann, that's a very closely related chord, but that succession doesn't exist in C major or C minor. Neither does this. C major going to E major. It's also one common tone, and the other notes are moving just by a half step. So that's why he says they're closely related chords. So my buddy Rick Cohn, who's now a giant in the world of Ivy League music theory, wrote this book called Audacious Euphony, basically using that quote as his inspiration. It's Audacious Euphony, the triad, or the alternate nature of the triad, or something like that. The triad's alternate nature. So I'm new to this theory. I may get it wrong, or I may have a very shallow view of it, but I'm going to try to explain it. Give me 1 second. And we start with something extremely simple. A major chord going to a minor chord. C major to C minor, okay? Now, if we were, doing Roman numeral analysis, we'd say the second chord, oh, it's an alteration, of a 4 chord or alteration of the 1 chord, and then leave it at that. So we know this sound like, the amen. If we have a minor version of amen, this is a piece that's in my ear. I couldn't remember who the composer is, but it's the end of a symphony or something.
It's the end of the Revolutionary Etude of Chopin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to play that.
Wow, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so we have the 4 chord. This is in C, okay? We have the 4 chord going to 4 minor. And all that piston would have to say is like, well, we've altered the 4 chord. Okay. But in the Riemann world, the way scholars are doing it now, they call that a P transformation. So you're not labeling the chord, you're labeling the chord succession. And P stands for parallel. Easy enough. You have F major and it's parallel minor. So anytime you go from major to minor or minor to major, it's called a P. So here's a piece. Now, this is a piece. When I play the real piece, you'll recognize it. But if you, first chord, second chord, C7, third chord, A flat, and then A flat becomes A flat minor, then down to E flat. So maybe if I dress it up a little. Guys, see what that is?
Like a spiritual, is it?
Bridge over troubled water.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Okay. So now all I'm doing is labeling one change where it says P, it goes from A flat major, A flat minor. But, I think it can be helpful. Let's look at some more examples. All right. There's going to be a lot of these. Try to spot the piece. Okay, we've got a P between the second and third chords. Here's A major, then D major becoming D minor, then a cadence. Let me put it a little into context a little bit.
Maybe I'm amazed.
Maybe I'm amazed. Good one, John.
Hey.
Does anybody not know this piano intro?
I don't.
Oh,
All
play
right,
it,
here it is.
man.
I had a feeling some people would not know it. So, oh, come on. You're supposed to play it when I click on it. Fuckorama. All right, I will have to leave.
Just go to
I know how to bring it up. It's just I hoped to bring it up in.
It's already there waiting for you. There we go.
This is the checkers game where
Okay.
grandson and
Now,
granddad will
Please
bond.
use Verbo because I get paid whenever they run this ad.
This is the kitchen where the new
Are you guys hearing it?
Yes.
Sort of.
Quiet.
Like full volume or
Start over. Start over. Start over.
That was it. Could you really hear that?
Sort of, yeah.
I
Yeah.
could barely hear it. I don't know why the iPad plays games with my audio like that. Anyway, sorry, that's the best I can do, folks. All right.
And that beautiful chord change is almost overshadowed by the run that comes up later in the song. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, here's another one. This is very distant from the actual one because. All right, so we have
Goes
a
the
change
P
of
in the
minor to major, then to minor, and then to. And maybe this is stretching a little bit. So there's your P, and there's another P. So it goes in the up. I'm sorry, that P should be moved over to the left. Should
Right,
be between chords 2 and 3. Apologies. So that is. So he's switching between, major and minor there. So, that to me is a lot better than saying it's an altered chord. So what do we
A
have?
song called Little Black Submarines by the Black Keys.
What about it?
It does a lot of that too, major to minor.
Oh, I'd like to listen to that. So we had Bridge Over Troubled Water intro that used it. Maybe I'm Amazed intro that used it, and Lady Madonna intro that used it. So, if you want to be successful, try putting a P in your piano intro. All right. Now what's this? Here's our P. Okay. All right, what do we have here? Oh, it'll become much easier to recognize if I play it a little more in context.
It's Jethro Tull. Yeah,
Good name it.
Aqualung.
Aqualung by Jethro Tull. Let me play it again.
Away uneasy.
So, if you can dial up the sound of Ian Anderson's voice there, I mean, he colors that change to minor, the big way in the words, amplify it in two, and just to dismiss that as some sort of, little alteration.
I
The
think.
other thing is,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
although this looks to be an F major, I mean, how would you analyze this? You've got a 2 chord going to a 1, then going to a 5, then minor 5, and then 2 and 1. I mean, that doesn't fit, common practice patterns at all. What were we going to
Let
say,
me
John?
try and,
Go ahead.
share screen for a moment.
Okay. Working on it.
Or trending jokes.
All right, go ahead.
Share screen. Share computer sound. Let's see if this will play.
To support local restaurants, we've been to every city, including Little
Tell me
Rock.
if this is the concept you're talking
And
about.
tonight, I'll be eating the
Chicken quesadilla
from
Tony's Tex-Mex.
in.
Katie.
Do you think they bought it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to own that car.
You hear that?
Not really. It's hard. Sort of.
Yeah, I caught that one.
See how it goes from the minor to the major?
None such. Is it seriously on the None Such label?
I saw that too.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that a musical tradition that's been around for a long time? Very popular in Hebrew melodies?
Oh,
Schubert did it all the
Great.
time.
I'm not joking. I'm talking about the major to the minor thing.
Oh, yeah, Schubert. Yeah.
Schubert did it constantly. Bach did it too. So a lot of people did.
I'm saying even before that, like, you know, in the
Hasidic,
time-
klezmeristic
time
kind
of
of.
Jesus, I believe there were a lot of melody lines in the Hebrew tribes that alternated between that major and minor all the time, you know, and I think it even translated into Gershwin. What was his first big hit, Swanee? It starts with the minor before it gets to the major. I don't know. It just seems like.
Yeah, and so, you know, the point here is that you need something better than just saying, oh, it's an altered chord. You know, these things have such meaning, and all three of those piano intros, you know, color the emotion a great deal. So I will
Show me the end of that thing that you had. Are there any other letters other than parallel for changes?
Yeah, I got along. We're just getting started here. All right, screen. What is going on?
Now,
Okay.
who would be reading these changes today, Greg?
Nobody. These music theorists. That's all.
Okay.
Start broadcast.
Greg, you're drowning in the ocean.
I've been watching that for a while.
Yeah.
Tide's coming in.
All right.
You're gonna need a bigger boat, Greg.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe Tom Hanks is somewhere.
Find my presentation here.
Wilson.
Okay.
R and L.
Leading tone.
Ah, yes.
Okay, there's Jethro Tull. Okay, so we've got two other transformations, and they're extremely well known. So you take C major, and it's relative minor, A minor. Okay, there's, you know, you've got two tones in common. So that makes just like C major and C minor had two tones in common, C major and A minor have two tones in common. One difference in this one is the voice that's moving goes up a whole step rather than a half step. This is a very, very close relationship. And, you know, this is really well known. You know, ubiquitous throughout popular music and classical music. And the other one has a funny name. It's called leading tone. And it's also a change of one note by a half step. Okay. They call it leading tone in this case because you can see that if you were thinking in C major and switched its root to the leading tone, you get that. So C major to E minor. And the one I always like to show is.
Yeah.
Tell us what it is, Andrew.
Brahms, Symphony Number
4.
Thank you.
3.
Second movement. Third movement. Sorry.
Yeah, we're agreed that it's Symphony 3, right?
No, Symphony 4. Third movement.
All right, I'm going to check that.
Yeah, you're right. It's C major.
So, very nice.
That one.
Yeah. Okay. It's a very it's not only common, but it's, very close relationship because of the common tones. Brahms Symphony, well, I thought it was Symphony 3, I'll check. So summary so far, we've got P, parallel, we've got R, relative, and L, leading tone. Okay, so for P, it can be either major going to minor or minor going to major. For relative minor, you could be minor going to major or major going to minor. Oh, whoops, yeah, right. So relative minor. So D major going to A minor or C minor going to E flat major. And then L is called leading tone for slightly mysterious reasons. And minor chords have all these transformations too. So the P transformation is minor going to major. The R transformation is minor going to E major. Okay, in this case, C minor to E flat, as opposed to the major version, which is C major to A minor. But that's considered like an equivalency in this universe because of the shared common tones and all that stuff. Yeah, the minor version, the major version have the same number of common tones. So the leading tone one for minor is where the fifth goes up. Okay, the reason they call that the L transformation is that they think of the A flat as a leading tone into this G. It wants to go down, right?
That's called
So
the Adele transition.
Really? Why?
No, because many of her songs
Do they?
on the chorus grab you doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So PRL. Whoa, we already went through this. All right, who cares about this? Why do we care? You can describe every single possible transition of any major or any minor chord to another major or minor chord with one of these labels. You just have to simply combine them. So you say RL would mean first perform the relative transformation followed by the leading tone transformation. And you can do 3 letters, RLP, the fourth one there. So let's pick LPR. So do the leading tone transformation followed by the parallel transformation followed by the relative transformation.
Where do I go my PPE?
Yeah, unfortunately there's no E yet, but you could invent one. So the idea is you can use these tools to understand music where conventional music theory has failed, maybe. So let's look at PLP in particular. That's a really cool one. So C major going to A flat minor, or C major going to E major.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay, the late 19th century, early 20th century composers all kind of seem to have a common understanding that this is what you would use if you want to suggest something psychologically uncanny or like sense of illusion. And the reason why is that? How is that it has that effect? Make your piano a little softer, please. So first of all, the chords have no common tones. All right, C major, A flat minor, not a single common tone. C minor to E major, not a single common tone. And there's no major or minor key that encompass both. All right, there is no major key analysis of C major going to A flat minor. If you did, it would be so twisted. It would be flat 6 minor, which is absurd. And the other thing that's strange about it is one's major, one's minor. Either major going to minor or minor going to major. And the voice leading is completely smooth. You know, all the voices are moving just by a half step only. So it's kind of a paradox to the ear, like Riemann said when he talked about it being audacious and euphonious, is it sounds like it's related because of the smooth voice leading, but we don't have kind of a category to put that in with the tonal music that we're used to. So some examples of PLP. Now this is not a PLP, but let me just start by showing this well-known passage from Wagner's Parsifal. It's a motive they use constantly throughout the whole opera. And he didn't compose it. It's something traditional called the Dresden Amen. It goes like this. sorry. And the way there's a PLP is, because Wagner uses it constantly throughout the opera, he's using it to express a lot of different things that are happening emotionally in the music. And at one point, he does the Dresden Amen like this. So you've got a PLP in the first two chords. Oh, that was a major, I'm sorry. And another PLP here.
It seems so nationalistic. Quite,
Yeah, well, it's
quite nationalistic.
It's a hymn associated with Dresden, Germany. So it's something you would actually hear if you were in the town. You might hear a carillon playing it. If you went to a church mass, you might hear the choir sing it. So it does have kind of a civic identity to it.
Yeah.
So let's make our own PLP. Okay, we'll start with F minor. All right, P means minor to major, major to minor. So we're in minor, so we're going to turn it major. Then L means the leading tone transformation, which means we take the F and read down. And then the last thing, we do a P again, we turn that to a major. So that's the idea, is when you have this, weird F minor to A major thing, it can be thought of in terms of a series of transformations that are all closely related, all half-step motions. And there's a beautiful Debussy etude, the first two chords of which are F minor going to A major, and it becomes the basic motif of the piece. And let's see if, all right, it's supposed to play it now. Let's see if it will. Can you hear it? Because I can barely hear it. Tell me, can you hear it?
Yeah.
Loud or not loud?
Not loud. Okay.
Yeah. I just don't know what to do. Let's see. Let me try bringing it up in iTunes, aka music. No, they like to call it music now. Reinstalling. Good Lord. Yeah, really. I'm very frustrated by this, but all right, we'll listen to it softly for a little while. Turn your volume as high up as you can get it. I just had a theory of why. Hold on. Let me check the volume setting in my properties. Oh, it's probably under general, right? General. Anybody know where you find volume control? There's an audio thing, right? Where the hell is it? I love the way Apple's rolling out these quote improvements, unquote, and you can't find a damn thing.
How about down in music?
Thank you. Maybe. No. There used to be an audio control panel. It must be under general.
Or settings. Oh.
We are in settings. AirDrop.
Sound, maybe
AirPlay.
sounds or something. No, that's
Well, that's what I'm looking for. Anybody see sound anywhere?
yeah, 3 above general.
Thank you. Jesus. All right, ringers and alerts. Wow, this doesn't help at all. Let's
No.
yeah, that's still not the audio control panel.
God.
About
Makes sense.
date and time. Control center is nothing. I think they're, oh, I know. It's our friend right here. All right, I'm gonna turn that up. Did you see that thing?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it again. No better. All right, let's just leave it alone. Okay, so traditional theory is almost worthless for these examples, and maybe chord transition labels reveal more. I mean, it's just a matter of, you know, spending more time with them. So the rest of the presentation is all fun. So who can spot this? I don't think anybody's going to be able to spot it.
No idea.
And I've got the labels here. We've got a PR. I'm not going to, you know, go through the transformation process. PR, another PR. Here's your second PR. And then finally we have an L. All right, if I play it a little more context.
It's Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin.
Kashmir.
It's Led Zeppelin.
What's it called?
Kashmir.
Led
Kashmir
Zeppelin.
by Led Zeppelin. We played that at the last music party here at my house back in pre-COVID times. Okay, how about, all right, this is what you say is the Adele progression, John. So A flat going to C minor. All right, there's one that's really super obvious. I don't know how many Twin Peaks fans are here.
Oh yeah.
That's an L transformation. All right, here's another one.
Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. On today's Everything Music, I'm going to show.
Pardon me?
Sorry.
Sorry?
Dude,
All right.
Go on. Go on.
Play it again.
Okay, C minor, F major. Okay, that's a PRL, followed by an LRP and then PRL again. And that is this piece.
That's just big.
That's my my jazz piece, Jesse's Pig. That's cool. That's what's that? The Odd Couple?
The Odd Couple
Yeah.
theme, yeah.
Yeah. Who was playing that?
Andrew.
Neil, is that Neil Hefti?
I don't know.
All right, here's another one. Now, Bob and John, you should be able to get this just from the. No?
No.
Anybody can spot it?
Feels comfortable.
Amazing Journey from Tommy.
Okay.
Well, yeah, let's go back here. That's so what we have is, you know, 3 different LRs in a row, but there is no, you know, this doesn't fit in any major or minor key. All right, here's another.
How to imitate a whole.
C major to G minor, to E flat major, to G major. All right, what have we here?
Mm.
All right, people, a lot of you haven't heard this for maybe 20, 30, 40 years.
The Doors. Crystal Ship.
That's pretty cool. The Doors.
Yeah.
Really the
in
nights.
transformation. So
Crystal
what?
Ship.
What? All right, whatever. G minor, D minor, C major, then, C major going up in parallel to an E flat major. That's very much a rock and roll power chord thing.
Acid is groovy. Kill the pigs.
Yeah, so that's the Crystal Ship by the Doors. All right, E major, F major, D minor, E major. You're gonna kill yourself when you hear what this is. E major to F minor, and then we have an R transformation here, and then a PRP here, D minor to B major. This
Star Trek.
is
Oh,
Really? Play the 4 chords again, Greg.
okay.
Wow.
Okay, so look at the gray arrow. That's when the example that I have there, it actually begins there, but I started 2 bars before for context. So now,
Cool.
so
Interesting.
it's funny, we don't think of the chord chemistry. I don't think of Beatles chord chemistry that much as being anything astonishing, but D minor going to B major is pretty damn astonishing. And that's actually the end of it. So if I had an hour more, I would tell you what my buddy Rick Cohn has gone into with his book, Audacious Euphony. He has some real systematic stuff, and he's got some examples which use entire chains of these transformations. A particular change that he calls the hexatonic cycle. But this presentation is too long already. So one of these days I'll go into this.
Greg and all of you, it's excellent, Greg. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Has everyone seen the guy, the TED Talk guy that tried to come up with different ways to notate music? He used the Boston subway system to write music out. Have you seen that crazy guy, Andrew or Greg, on TED Talk?
no.
Not that one in particular. No.
Just a genius level. And he just said, we don't have to use standard lines and spaces. There's all sorts of ways to write out music and have stuff in the margins. And it was kind of bizarre. But I still think it gets down to this, frankly.